Hello viewers. Welcome to a new tour guide. Today we will be talking about how to get to Hawaii. This is the 4th episode. You can watch our first, second, third episodes and check the I button. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel. If you want, you can comment on your opinion about this video. So let's go. How to get in Hawaii. Foreign travelers entering Hawaii directly from another country are subject to the exact entry requirements for the United States. See the Get In section of the United States article. As Hawaii is one of the 50 United States, domestic flights between Hawaii and other states. Therefore, you never need to show a passport or other documentation when arriving in Hawaii from the U.S. mainland. When leaving Hawaii on a domestic flight, you only need to establish an approved picture ID, which would typically be a passport for foreign visitors. Hawaii has requirements to control the flow of plants and animals. The islands have unique plant and animal life found nowhere else. They also have diseases and pests not found on the U.S. mainland and are free of other diseases and problems. Because of this, Hawaii is an agricultural quarantine zone. For travelers, this means 3 things. 1. The Hawaii State Department requires you of agriculture to fill out a written agricultural declaration while aboard your flight to Hawaii. 1 declaration form is needed per family. The documents will be collected before landing. Any fresh fruits, vegetables, flowers, and the like must be declared and inspected by Department of Agriculture personnel at your port of arrival. Some items may be prohibited from entering Hawaii. Penalties for non-compliance are stiff. To avoid delays and hassles, avoid bringing such things with you. On the reverse side of this declaration is a Hawaii Tourism Authority questionnaire that asks for information about your stay. You are encouraged but not required to complete this questionnaire. 2. When leaving Hawaii for the U.S. mainland, all baggage must be inspected by U.S. Department of Agriculture inspectors at the airport. Except for pineapples and treated papayas, any fresh fruits are prohibited from leaving Hawaii to control the spread of fruit flies. Consult the U.S. Department of Agriculture for more details. Depending on the airport you depart from and the airline, be prepared to submit to as many as 3 X-ray checkpoints on the way to your mainland flight, having your checked bags X-rayed in the ticket lobby, the TSA security checkpoint, and perhaps a separate agricultural inspection for your carry-on bags on the way to your gate. That last checkpoint will probably have a sign that says, "Yes, you have to do this again." 3. As Hawaii is rabies-free, pets such as dogs and cats are subject to complex and strict quarantine requirements. The least restrictive provisions require at least 2 rabies vaccinations at least 30 days apart and at least 90 days before arrival, the latest of which must be current, microchip implantation, and a negative rabies blood test within the last 3 years, but at least 120 days before arrival. Pets failing to meet these requirements will be quarantined for 120 days. Hawaii does not observe daylight saving time, which means that the time difference between Hawaii and most of North America varies by the time of year. Hawaii is 2 time zones behind the U.S. West Coast, thereby accounting for a 3-hour time difference during DST for most states. Travelers from Asia, Australia, and New Zealand should keep the international date line in mind when timing conversions and flight reservations. Hawaii is 19 hours behind Japan, making it 5 hours ahead of Japan by the clock but a day behind the calendar. Most flights to Hawaii that leave Asia in the evening will arrive in the morning of the same day. Return flights that leave Hawaii in the morning will arrive in the early afternoon of the next day. How to get to Hawaii by plane. Most flights from the mainland US and almost all international flights land in Honolulu on the island of Oahu. From here, passengers destined for a neighbor island will connect to an inter-island flight. Non-stop service from the mainland is also available to Kahului on Maui, Kona, Hilo on the Big Island, and Lihue on Kauai. Kona also serves a limited number of non-stop flights from Japan and seasonal services from Canada. Depending on the airline, non-stop flights to Honolulu leave from most major gateway airports on the West Coast and many major airports in the Midwest and East Coast. The flight from Los Angeles or San Francisco takes about 5 hours, comparable to a flight between the west and east coasts of the contiguous United States. Thus, a flight from New York will take about 10.5 hours. Jetstar is an Australian budget airline that connects Honolulu to several cities in Australia. There are also low-cost airlines from Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, and Manila in Southeast Asia with AirAsia X. How to get in Hawaii by boat. A few trans-Pacific cruises to Hawaii leave from ports on the west coast. On an 18-day, 5,000 miles or 8,000 kilometers round-trip cruise between Hawaii and the west coast, about 12 days will be at sea, with nothing on the horizon and nothing to do except what is on the ship. Even if you are an avid cruiser, you may get more Hawaii bang from your cruise buck by flying to Honolulu and taking a 7-day inter-island cruise that starts and leaves from there. Pacific Ocean cruises to and from California depart for the most part from mid-fall to mid-spring. There are a few freighter services, but if you are an American citizen embarking in the USA and wishing to travel to Hawaii, you cannot cross this way on a foreign-flagged ship due to the U.S. Passenger Vessel Services Act of 1886. Instead, try cruises from Ensenada, Baja California, or Vancouver, British Columbia. It is also worthwhile to troll marinas on the west coast of the contiguous United States, leaving your contact info and posting to online discussion boards for people planning to spend around a month sailing from the mainland. Ensure that any expectation of compensation, including work duties, food, supplies, and damaged equipment, is covered in writing, so everything is clear. Storms and days stuck becalmed as to be expected. This is all about the 4th episode. Thank you for watching this video entirely. You can watch our other tour guides about the USA if you want. Then you can visit our channel. If you like this video, I will repeat it. Please subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much.